Hi, team. Hope you guys are good. Week two is we're getting things off the ground in lots of different ways with regards to our life groups. And so, quick thank you to all of you that are making that work and bringing some new folks into your group, welcoming them in to what God is doing in and through even your little group. So excited about that and excited about where we're going here for next week as well. It was fun to hear from some of our groups via email this week and just contacting different people. My favorite comment, I think, was, Nate, we actually had fun in our group. And so I hope your group actually has fun as well. Maybe some of you feel like we actually studied the Bible, or we actually stayed on task, or we actually had everyone come, or you felt like, well, this was a week where we didn't get to the actually, but we're working towards that and working towards that together. So I just want to encourage you in that. Our group met last Sunday evening. It was fantastic to have most everybody there, and probably the takeaway for our group was in the Genesis 50-20 challenge, and just spending time this week talking about that with our kids, texting each other and trying to remind each other to do kind of a every night check-in with our families, and just reminding ourselves of the truth that is held in Genesis 50-20, that while people may do things that even go so far as to be qualified as evil against us, God uses those things for good. And so we want to keep our eyes open to that. We want to keep our spirits moving in that direction. And so I hope that was a good encouragement. And maybe you have memorized a verse for the first time, or just sort of rememorized that one as well this week. Okay, couple quick things. This next week we're jumping into Esther. We will be, during main services, watching the 9-minute Bible Project video that goes along with that. We watched an edited version of the Joseph story last week, and this week we'll watch the entire story of Esther, as it does a great job of walking through those chapters and the entire story there, which many of us are familiar with. But also want to encourage you, it's linked into your weekly email as well, and so feel free to use that. Again, might be a great way to start your group, especially even if you have kids and stuff. It's a great learning tool to have. And so you can link that, but think about maybe gathering your group where there's a TV or an iPad or a computer, someplace where you could watch that if you want as well. And as we think about this week's study, and we put together the life group questions and all of that, I was sort of re-encouraged again about you all and the role that you play in the lives of so many in our church family. As we think about the sort of the risk or the courage that it took to stand for God in the midst of some massive challenges that are outlined in Esther's life, I'm reminded that oftentimes it's those people that I hope you are in the lives of those in your group, where we can kind of stand on the faithfulness that God has revealed in our own lives and say, well, of course God is faithful. Of course He'll be there. Of course He'll walk with you. And so we proclaim that in our own lives, but we also say that in a way that we say, God is going to be with you because we're going to be with you. We're going to walk with you through these challenges. We're going to walk with you through these opportunities to maybe reach out to somebody that's new, and it's going to cost us something potentially, or risk something in a relationship. But we would put our arms around each other and say, again, of course God's going to be faithful, and of course God's going to be present, and He'll be present in us as a group as we walk through these things together. So such a vital part of being courageous and stepping out and risking for God. You'll also find in your weekly email a great little resource. This is just a quick plug. Spend some time walking through that. Maybe you print it out and get a highlighter. There's some fantastic notes. I wish I would have written that article. It's a great article. So check that one out. And then I wanted to bring you up to speed in the last couple seconds that we have together with some stuff that's coming up. You're going to hear some about this, but I'm excited about it. And so you're going to get my piece and advertisement right now. In a couple weeks, on October 7th, we have a guest speaker coming in. His name is Chris Simning. We've heard him many times speaking up at Hume Lake to our students. He's been out here a couple different times. He's going to be taking the Sunday morning services for us on October 7th. And I am just super excited about that opportunity. So I hope that your life groups can make sure they're there that week. It's going to be, I think, a fantastic week to think about people that maybe are in your neighborhood or in your sort of proverbial neighborhood, people that you work with, and invite them on the 7th to our Sunday morning worship services to hear Chris talk about his story and the way that God has impacted him and even challenged him in the midst of some incredible trials to be a person that loves people of every sort. And so I think it's going to be a real special morning, October 7th. And then on the 10th, it's a Wednesday evening. We're going to have a men's connection gathering. And I say that for two reasons. One, I hope all of our men can be there. Chris is going to be speaking again from his heart and passion as a man. And so I think it's going to be a great opportunity. Some of you have groups on Wednesdays, and I want to get out in front of that a little bit, and I think this would be a fantastic night for the men to come join us at the Men's Connection, 7 o'clock in Promised Land that night to hear from Chris, and then maybe the women can do something on their own that could be really fun for them as well. So think about that on October 10th, maybe splitting your group up and getting the men to church to hear from Chris, and also to gather with some of our SBC men. I think that'll be a special time. Two other things. The Sunday after the 7th, on the 14th, we have Mark J. He's a poet. He's going to be coming, doing some spoken word stuff Sunday morning, and then a concert that evening, which we're excited about as well. So you'll hear more about that. And then off into the future a little bit, but I want your groups to begin to be thinking about this as a really cool opportunity, maybe to do as a group, because I think it'll give you a fun experience, but also some neat language as we move forward. And that's what is called the Fight Night. It's a simulcast by Les and Leslie Parrott, and they're amazing communicators. They have been professional Christian counselors for many, many years now, and we've heard them live in different ways. And so we're going to get their simulcast into the Family Life Center that night, and we're inviting couples to come out and be a part of what we hope is just a boost, a fun time for couples, and encouragement for our marriages, and also give us some tools in continuing to work together to become the kinds of marriages that God can really use to continue to build His kingdom in this community. So that's going to be November 9th, and so it's a Thursday night, November 1st. So mark that on your calendars as well. Well, again, just a quick check-in. So thanks so much for all that you're doing. If you have questions for me, feel free to give me a call here at the church or email me at nate@crbible, and I will do my best to follow up. Thanks again.